Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking about Rob's Range Rovers today. We're going to talk about the difference between the 4-door and the 2-door, which is the one that we originally built back in 2008. Well, no, when did we build it?
17?
17, yeah, roughly. So
17.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the difference in cost between the two of them and roughly what sort of budget you'd be looking at if you were to build an M57 truck. Very similar to these two, so we'll get right in and start.
And you've been asking about this, like we said on the last M57 video, would you like to see a comparison between the two trucks? And you're all like, yeah. So here it is. Right, so this was my daily for, I don't know, seven years, and then I wanted something a bit more user-friendly. Like this has got no seat belts in the back. It's got seat belts in the front. I could put seat belts in the back, but so then I bought this one, and then I made this one as my daily, and I used this to tow my race car to the track. And we also got a roof tent that goes on the top, so we can sleep in it while we're at the track as well.
Right, should we dive into the technical stuff?
Yeah, let's get into it. I picked this up out of a field. I think I gave like 900 quid for it. It was rusted out. It had like knobbly tyres on it. All the wings was cut off.
Been off-roaded for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it'd been like off the road for a long time. It had like 109,000 on the clock. So yeah, it's not bad. And then I had no interior in it. I put a full teddy bear interior in the car and obviously an M57. So we'll open the bonnet and talk about that. So this is a 184 out of a Range Rover, this engine. You got to change the sump and make it an E46 sump or 5 series sump, E39, else they don't fit. This one's also running a E46 330D gearbox, 6-speed. So we'll talk about the difference between the two in a minute. Also got an airbox delete. If you've not seen this video, go and have a look. We did a whole video of deleting the airbox and making a cold air feed. If it makes any difference,
I don't know. I've noticed a difference with mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed a hell of a lot of difference with mine because there's hardly any heat soak. Because the air filter's not directly above the exhaust manifold, it really does make a difference, and the noise is better as well.
Yeah, yeah, you get a bit more turbo noise.
Get a bit of turbo flutter.
The really good thing about deleting the airbox is you can get to the
exhaust manifold. Yeah.
So if you can't get your injectors out and you don't want to take the rocker cover off, just cut the airbox off and then obviously do a delete pipe.
Yeah, for those that aren't aware, if you need to take the exhaust manifold off without cutting it, you've got to take all the injectors out, the whole inlet manifold, the lot.
Yeah, it's
a lot of work.
And as people keep asking, this is an Audi. I don't know if you want to get a bit closer, Cameron. It's an Audi Bosch 2-litre TDI housing, and then you use the M57s. I get this asked a lot on the video. You use an M57 MAF sensor. It just bolts straight back in. It's in the same holes everywhere. All right. Anything you want to add?
Yeah. As far as the sump goes, if anybody's not aware, the L322, obviously being a Range Rover, it's 4-wheel drive. So the sump accommodates the drive shafts for the front axle, so that's why you've got to change the sump to a rear sump on these for this application.
And we use a TD5 Discovery alley rad, and then the standard intercooler. Yeah. And then we just use pipes, obviously, to make it all work. Should we go into the inside? So in here we still need to do the diff lock and the high and low box, something we haven't got round to doing yet, but 6-speed manual box, works a treat. We'll do a little drive in it in a minute so you can see the difference between the two.
Just want to add as well that obviously there's a couple of options you can have for this.
Yeah.
So with my Classic, I've got the same gearbox, E46 330D 6-speed, with the Synchro Gearbox's adapter to run the LT230 transfer box. But I've got what they call the Defender top hat. So it's the same as what the Defenders use. It's like a remote selector that bolts on top of it, so you get to keep the original look for the gear stick. Now, I find it works great. There is the odd occasion where it can be a little bit temperamental.
A lot of people
to get
have
in.
moaned about the kit.
It's
not as straightforward as people make out.
There's a lot going on, because you've got the gear stick, and then that is then transferred backwards. Then it drops down to the selector fork for the gearbox, and then it goes forwards again. So there's a lot going on between you changing gear and the gearbox doing its thing.
On the side of the gear stick, you've got to adjust the little screws that allow you to get 6 and reverse.
It was a bit of a fiddle.
Yeah, it was a bit of a fiddle. It's not as easy as what this one is.
You've just gone for the standard BMW selector linkage,
and I've just shortened it,
and then just bolted it into the tunnel. And it works really well. It's almost like a short shift.
Yeah. So this one also runs a 1.03 transfer box that what I bought from Ashcroft. We built it all up, put it in, and it's put the gear in like near enough perfect. Yeah. Especially on the little tyres.
Mine's just a little bit off in it, but then I've got monster great wheels on mine.
I'd say yours is about the same.
Yeah, I don't think it's very far. I don't think it's far out, but I think I just need to go down from like a 1.2 to a 1.1. I think that would get mine.
Yeah, 1.1 would be probably perfect for your truck.
Yeah.
A 1.03 would probably be too high geared because you've got the big 33s.
Oh, and you've got the cross shaft in yours as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we put a cross shaft in and all new bearings.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, in a standard centre diff in these, you've got 2 pins that are machined to lay over the top of each other, and because obviously you've got half the material missing where they cross over, they're very renowned for snapping when you've got something with a lot of torque in it. So
you can buy an upgrades one,
cross shaft in.
This is my beloved Yeti, as we've called it, or or Bigfoot as it's been called in the past. We'll go back to the story when we first built this truck. We built this truck 7 years ago. Well, I built it 10 years ago as a 200 TDI.
But about 2 or 3 months fixing it, didn't we?
Yeah, I fully welded it up, got it to how you see it really. It's not changed in the last 10 years. And then we were going to Germany to do a trip with a friend called Josh. And we decided to, about a month before, put an M57 in it, like you do. So we got the M57 in it, and then 2 weeks later, we took this to Germany. Towed my car across to Germany to the Nordschleife. We broke the Supra over there, like you do. And then we're like, stuff it, we got 2 tickets left. And we took this for 2 laps around the ring. So I'll get Cameron to put up some pictures of this actually on the Nürburgring. I can't remember how long it took us now. 12 minutes? I think it was like 12 minutes. That ain't bad for an old Range Rover. It was like, it was quite funny. So this is a 184, same as that, but this one come out of a E39, 530D. With a manual box, but this runs the Land Rover R380 gearbox and transfer box, so that is all completely still a factory gearbox. We've got Shab's adapter plate in this one, and then it's running Marcus Williams MWM machines, clutch, and we run a 5-speed dual mass.
Yeah, you ran with a solid flywheel for a while, didn't you? But it just made the gearbox chatter, something horrific.
It was so hard on you, literally looked like you skipped leg day on one leg after the clutch to driving it. This runs at the time we didn't really know about what radiator to run, so this runs a Defender TD5 rad and intercooler, and as you can see the difference between the two, the Defender one is a lot smaller.
And the cooling abilities of that radiator is insane.
Yeah, don't get the Defender rad, get a Discovery rad, it's so much better. This one, if you're towing uphill a lot, it gets a little bit warm. That one, the temperature gauge doesn't even move.
No.
So this engine, as much as it's done 7 years of abuse, is so quiet. I don't know what it is about the BMW engines over the Range Rover engines. It's just lovely and smooth and quiet. So this one runs a Shabs' selector conversion, so you can run the Defender top hat on an R380 gearbox, and it's just a piece of cake. You just take out the selector fork, put the new one in, put the gear stick on the top, and everything works as it should. So when you look in the truck, it looks still sort of factory.
This is exactly the same as mine, but because it goes on an R380, it works better than it does for the 6-speed box.
Yeah, if you're going 6-speed box, I would either use the BMW stick or
make your own.
Or make your own. If you want to just pan inside the truck, you'll see the gear stick.
Tell them about your upgrade seats, Bob.
Yeah. So these seats, because they've got the seatbelt in them still, they're out with a E46 convertible. They're heated and electric, and they still work as they should. It's lovely, especially on a cold day or leather. You can put it on. So the next plan is either to do a full nut and bolt rebuild on this one, or this is your decision. I want to comment, don't we? We want comments on this and people to say what they would like. Either us rebuilding this one, like full strip down, doing all the rust repair, because she is 52-year-old now, and going through it, or the project. Now the project, we'll let you into a little secret, is another 2-door Range Rover. That is all we're saying. So I want the viewers to say what they want. Do they want to see this one get rebuilt, or the plans for another 2-door Range Rover? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We'll get everybody else's opinion and see what everybody else would like to see content-wise. I think it'd be interesting to see what the differences in opinions are.
Yeah, don't forget that the other truck is going to be wild. Like, we've got big ideas for it.
It's a Range Rover with a twist.
Yeah, so we want to see people's what they want to see. Do they want to see us rebuild this or something completely different? All right. Right, we're going to move around to the back. Oh, my flag.
Yeah.
She wants a bit of. This is all. We redone all the tub in this one.
Yeah.
Right. I'll sit this side, you sit that side. Right, so we're going to talk about cost. When I did this truck, it didn't cost me a lot, because I bought a car for £100. You cannot, if you can buy a car for £100, good on you. But I managed to get a car for £100.
You're looking at near like $5 to £1,000.
Yeah, I bought a car for £100. I took the engine out of it. I sold the gearbox, I scrapped the shell, I weighed the cats in, and then I sold the 200 TDI. So this conversion owes me £500 time I bought everything. So the prices have gone up now, obviously, on all the stuff, but you're looking probably around the £2.5 to £3,000 mark if you build it yourself, like we have. And it depends how good you are with making stuff, and
if you've got a welder and you've got access to sheet metals and stuff like that, and you can make your own exhausts and stuff, you're going to save yourself a lot of money. Our exhausts, we built them ourselves, custom made them to the shape we wanted underneath the truck, and I think my exhaust probably cost me £200 by the times I bought the bends, paid you for welding them and stuff like that, and then the silencer that we put in eventually, because I got told off by the police.
Yeah.
But if you're skilled enough to do fabricating, you're going to save yourself a lot of money building one of these.
I get asked a lot, will I do conversions? At the moment in time, I am far too busy trying to
with the race car
do all with my race car, doing the Supra, all the other little jobs we get up to just haven't got the time for it at the moment. I do a day job, like we do this as fun. But we are always like willing to help and point people in the right direction and like try and save you money if we can. Okay.
Yeah. The most expensive part is the conversion plate.
Yeah.
You know, that's $1,000 straight away.
And then Marcus does a loom. I think they were like 250 quid. They might be a little bit dearer now. And then the ECU, I think it's about 150, 175 for the delete and a map.
Yeah. The map's about 240 brake. You can't go much more than that because you're limited by the turbo. And then, I mean, well, the wiring now has come a long way since we did it, hasn't they? You know,
so
you can wire in modern dashboard clusters to them now.
I've got the first wiring harness in this one from Marcus Williams from MW Machines. Back in 2007 when he first did them. Like.
Yeah. You made your engine mounts, didn't you?
Yeah.
Whereas I bought a laser cut plate kit. Rob welded them together for me, and they're absolutely brilliant. I can't remember what engine mounts mine are now, but
don't know.
Yeah,
there's some funky ones.
Yeah, there's some very strange ones, but it uses a factory type engine mount, whereas Rob's, you know, we made the brackets to bolt to the engine. Got some 200 TDI engine mounts.
Genuine 200 TDI engine, the rubber engine mountings.
And then we just cut the brackets off the chassis, sat the engine where we wanted it, and welded it back in.
Yeah. So that's basically it. Really,
yeah, it's the most time consuming part about the build is just doing the electrics, the plumbing in of the fuel lines and the coolant, and that's it. Other than that, they bolt in almost perfectly, almost like they're meant to be in there. But yeah, I'd say we're sort of like about $3,000 at the most if you can do everything yourself. If you've got to get things done by other people, you're probably sort of like looking more towards like $4,000 or $5,000 depending on what you do.
Depends how good your skill set is. This is what I say to people: if your skill set's like pretty good, then you can build these yourself.
Yeah, I'm no welder, but I had a go at doing a few bits on mine, much to your criticism, but. Yeah, it's definitely a worthwhile conversion though. For the money you spend, it absolutely transforms these trucks.
Oh, yeah, it makes them night and day, innit?
Yeah.
Like from the 200 TDI to what it is now. Christ, you can go up a hill with a trailer on faster than you would with a 200 TDI with no trailer on.
I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. He's got I know it's not really the best thing in the world, but a TDV6 Discovery. And we were comparing about the towing capabilities of the two trucks, and he said that his truck wouldn't do half as what mine does.
And they're like, I can get like 35 to the gallon out of these.
Yeah, easily.
So. Right, enough waffling on about these things. We'll take them for a drive, shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
Right, let's go for a little drive.
Drivability wise, this thing's, well, it's about as good as you can get it.
I'd say this one drives nicer.
Yeah, this one's definitely a lot more refined than the black one.
Yeah, this is like the difference between driving, I don't know,
a race car and a normal car.
Yeah. Driving like a VW Polo to like a VW Passat. Like
yeah.
This is a lot smoother because it's not on big tyres. It's a lot nicer to drive. 6-speed manual. That's one thing I will say about the R380. It could do with a 6.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, it was made for functionality rather than refinement, wasn't it? You know, it's an agricultural gearbox essentially. Not
a road gearbox.
You know, a lot of people said when we first did it that you'll end up blowing them to bits, and we haven't killed one.
I've not killed the box. It rattled the shaft out because of the solid flywheel.
Yeah, but then again, that's just down to refinement. Where now we've got dual masses in both of them.
Yeah, so this runs a 6-speed dual mass with a, is it E90 clutch?
Yes. No, this is just standard E46 330D at the moment, but you can put the clutch out of an E90 or an E92 LCI or something. That's what's in it, is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, so they can stick more torque than the factory 330D clutch. So it's, yeah, you know, for the sake of cost, if you went more than 240 horsepower, the LCI clutch would be the better one to go for.
And as you can tell in this truck, when we get out of this one and get in the two-door in a minute, the sound deadening in this is lovely.
Yeah.
Like, you get in the two-door and you're like belly talk to each other.
Yeah. But then, you know, if the cost of
So
parts for a two-door were lower, we would have had the interior done to the same standard as this one. But
yeah, the bits for this,
you know,
like,
trying to get the parts for a two-door are just nigh on impossible without spending an absolute fortune.
And the spring setup on this, we've got standard front springs, and then I've got standard height, heavy duty rear springs in the back with Terra Firma big bore shocks. It's perfect for towing.
Yeah.
And it stops the ass end like drooping. Everyone asks, so how come your truck's all got forward like rear rake? It's because I've set them up like that.
Yeah.
So when you're towing, the truck is perfectly level, not frigging his ass on the floor.
Yeah. Whereas mine, I've got Terra Firma shocks, but they're off-roading shocks. You know, I got what plus twos on the front and fives on the back.
Yeah, you don't really need that.
No, not anymore. And
If anything, you want to
they're
take them off and
they're
tow.
very harsh compared to these. Mine crashes a lot. I know I've still got the 2-inch springs on mine as well.
Yeah, but it's 2 springs on the two-door, and they don't crash.
No, yeah, you got standard shocks on that one, don't you? Like standard spec shocks.
Steps back shocks.
Yeah.
They're plus fives on the back.
Instantly tell the difference between the two.
Wow, how noisy it is. So the gearbox in this one, even I put another box in it, I didn't know nothing about the box. I was given it, and it's noisy as hell. When I drained all the oil out, the water that came out, there was more water in it than the oil, and I was like, but I didn't have a box, so I chucked it in, and it's just a little bit rumbly, as you'll hear in a minute.
Thing is, there's no insulation or anything like the newer ones, is there? So it's very, very different.
I think there's 20 years. Well, no, this is 72. That's 93. So what's that?
Yeah, but even mine at 84. You know, there's what, 22 years difference between mine and yours?
Yeah.
No, 72, 84. No, there's 12 years difference between mine and yours.
Yeah.
But mine's got the big thick rubber matting around the gearbox tunnel and stuff like that. So that's another difference you notice between the 5 and the 6 speeds.
What's that?
But how easily you can pull away in first and reverse in the 6 speeds compared to this.
Oh yeah, it's high geared as hell in this. It's fun.
This thing's definitely a lot more aggressive.
It just rips, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's the same map. All I can think it down to is the gearing.
Yeah.
It just like the easiest conversion is to do an R380.
Yeah.
If you're going to do one, I'd do an R380 because it just keeps everything in the right place.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I suppose there's a point that we probably should have mentioned with the 6-speed. You know, you got to shorten the front prop by 30mm and lengthen the rear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a case of just bolting the 6-speed in.
No.
So the difference between the two, this one's obviously a bit noisier, and that's about it really. They both drive as good as each other.
Aside from this one's faster for whatever reason.
Yeah, this one's like a little bit faster than the other one. But this one's faster than yours though. Only ever so slightly.
Yeah.
It pulls. I don't know why.
Yeah, but you got a better map on yours than
Ah,
mine.
here we go. Here goes the excuses. I knew that was coming. You got a better map. Just a better driver.
Yeah.
So, Steve, if you had a choice out of my two trucks, which one would you have?
I'll have the black one.
I thought so.
Black one's faster and just.
We
yeah.
don't know why this one's faster.
The maps are exactly the same.
Yeah. So if anything, this one should be quicker because it's on smaller wheels and a longer transfer box and a 6-speed manual. Well, this is a 5-speed manual and on a standard 1.22 transfer box. So it
With
doesn't really
massive
make
wheels.
sense. And we'd like to know, which one would you have? Would you have the 4-door, the sleek sleeper, as I call it, or the aggressive 2-door? The big monster, as my boy calls it. Harry, which one's your favourite? He's already told me he's having this when he's 17. Bless him.
Yeah, let us know in the comments which one you'd rather have out of the two.
Right, so we're going to end it there. Wait to see your comments and see what you come out with. And I'll let Steve say goodnight.
Thanks very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.